Assalamu alaikum, boys and girls. I'm very happy to be back again with e-learning platform. I'm sure you're having a good time with your parents and family. And today we are going to talk about our ayats in the Quran that we've been learning. I'm sure you have memorized the 10 ayats that we have worked in the past. And now I'm going to share with you another few ayats that you can learn, memorize, and color. And once you have learned, memorized, and colored, you can share it on Class Dojo portfolio. You can submit it. And what I have done is I have shared the portfolio, I have shared the worksheets in Google Class, Class Dojo. You can print them and you can use them as your for coloring. Let me share and I'm going to show you. Let me share my screen and I will show you here. If you look at this, I have attach this file which has all your ayats in the Quran, the nine, I think there are 9 ayats in the Quran that you can learn and memorize. And here I have scanned it also for you. So these are the ayat that we have been working on. And the last class we worked on lowering our voice. And we have also talked about do not be rude in our speech. And we have an example and from Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who says, who has not only who not only said these things, but he practiced it. If you remember the story of Prophet Muhammad, when he would walk on the street, and there was this lady who would throw garbage at him from a window and it would fall on Prophet Muhammad. So, and the next day also, he would go on the same path and this lady would throw garbage at him. So, this happened for a couple days. But one day, this lady did not show up. And so, Prophet Muhammad, he was worried. He said, what happened to the lady? She would always come on the window and throw garbage. Today she's not there. So he went to her door and knocked on the door, and she was too sick. She was on her bed. So she gave him permission to come in. He went inside. As soon as the lady saw Prophet Muhammad coming inside, she was worried. She thought that Prophet Muhammad, he is coming to scold him for throwing garbage. Instead, Prophet Muhammad said that you have been throwing garbage each day, but I have, no, he didn't say. He said, I haven't seen you today, so I was worried. So that's why I came. And this lady was so ashamed of her behavior because in her experience, she was expecting that Prophet Muhammad is coming to tell her that about her behavior the last few days, but instead the lady was so ashamed. She asked him, where did you learn? How are you so good mannered? And Prophet Muhammad said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught him to have the best of akhlaq. And after that point, she was not a Muslim, but she converted and she accepted Islam. So you see, boys and girls, that Prophet Muhammad did not attract people with anything else except with his actions and akhlaq and good behavior. He was sent as a man with best of akhlaq, and so that's why we are asked to be nice to people even if they have been rude to us. And uh, in Islam, we have seen that when people expect that you will become, when they are rude, they expect rude behavior in return. But when they don't get a rude behavior in return, then they feel ashamed of themselves and they are they change for better. So inshallah, let's practice that and help. Now another ayat, it tells us in the Quran, help those in need by finding them. So why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask us to find the poor people? And so, what happens, boys and girls, is when people are poor, they are very modest. Sometimes it's very hard for them, it is belittling for them, or sometimes they feel ashamed to ask someone else for money. So, we have to be vigilant and we have to look out for people who are needy. And you have been practicing collecting money for the poor. And I like that, Zaid. Then what he did was, he asked, he brought $20, and we started our money jar. And I know you all have been collecting money, so this is a very good example of you collecting money and giving it to the poor. So this is Rajab, Shaban, and in Ramadan we will collect and give whatever we have to a needy, to needy people. And so Iman is not only believing with our heart, but saying with our tongue and practicing with our heart, with our hands. So you have been practicing whatever you have been learning, you have been practicing. So inshallah, keep doing. And I like that one of you has suggested that why don't we do chores at home and ask our parents to pay, that way we can collect money and give it to the poor. I think that's an excellent idea. Not that you should ask for money from your parents every time that you do any work for them, but if it is for a cause and you tell and explain your parents that this is to raise money for the needy, then I'm sure they will be happy to help give you some chores that you can earn money for the poor. And inshallah, in Ramadan, we will donate what we collect to the poor people. So again, we will, inshallah, as Ramadan approaches, we are going to be thinking about the poor people as we fast as well. So this ayat says, be good to others. Boys and girls, when you are at home during this spring break, this is an opportunity for you to help your help your mom, dad, and just about do any chores that you can do for them. When I was little, we in our school we used to have SUPW work, uh, which meant socially useful, productive work. So we used to do stuff. We used to do chores uh, for other people, other than ourselves, and we used to write it down. We used to write what we did, and we had to come and bring it to our teacher and show them that we have done something that is useful. So try to keep a journal and write down what all you have done at home to help other people. And inshallah, we will read it together in the class when you come back. So Allah is telling us, be good to other people. So and what is the best way is to start from your home, because when you start something from home, and then you'll get practice to do outside. Okay, the next ayat says, do not be arrogant. And here I'm going to also read you another story of Harun during the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam, who was very arrogant. And you can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished him for being arrogant. And if we have riches, beauty, or wealth, or anything, it is that has been given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't mean that we should become arrogant, or we should become proud, or we can think highly of ourselves. So Allah is telling us to do not be arrogant. And these are very small ayats, inshallah. I know you can memorize in no time. Do not keep envy. When someone else wins something, you want to be happy for them. You don't want to be jealous. So, in the same way, when you win something, you want other people to be happy for you. So, inshallah, there's always, whenever there is a failure, there's always growth in, we learn. If we fail, we learn from our failure. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, Innama al usri isra. There is ease after every difficulty. So whenever if there is any difficulty, there's always a growth that is happening all along. As soon as we fail, there is always growth happening. So, like for example, in Hadi School has never been an e-learning school. And because of the coronavirus, we are all home, we are all trying to be safe. But guess what, boys and girls? We have learned to be an e-learning school. And this is the first time we have done it. I don't think we would have done it if not for this difficulty. When we had this difficulty, we went and jumped ahead and we started this e-learning program. And Alhamdulillah, it's going so well. And every teacher has tried their best to keep learning, to keep educating you. So remember always, whenever there is a failure, doesn't mean that you are a failure. Allah may be trying to teach you a bigger lesson. So in this case, Hadi School was very happy that they became an e-learning school, and we try our best, even hard time, even during hard times, we try our best to do what we can in this situation. And next ayat says, do not be miserly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling her not to be stingy. If Allah is giving you a lot, that means you got to share with them. And that gives you an equality, the equality between different rich and the poor. And because if you look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's sharing his air, he's sharing the water, he's sharing the land. What if for one day he decides not to share the air with us? Can you imagine if we had to stop breathing for 5 minutes? How miserable it would be. So this is Allah sharing, and because he is giving us in abundance, he is asking us to also adopt his quality. And inshallah, when we return back to him, Allah will be very gracious, and he will not be miserly in giving us good, in giving us deeds, in giving us heaven, and in giving us good things in heaven. So we have to remember that if we act graciously, he will be gracious with us. And last ayat says, treat non Muslims in a kind and fair manner because Allah created all of us. And if so, and he, whether Muslim, non Muslims, or even unbelievers, that's just their actions. Some of acts, some of the unbelievers do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but but Allah still loves everyone. He wants everyone to be guided and be on the right path. So whether they are Muslim, non-Muslim, or unbelievers, they're all Allah's creation. He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to try to the last, to up to the last time, last moment of a person's life to help guide that person on the right path. That's why he sent prophets, and the prophets kept teaching uh, until they have convinced people to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to worship him just because he is worthy of worship. So inshallah, boys and girls, we will um, hopefully see each other very soon. If not, until then, have a good spring break, enjoy your time, and help your parents and do chores for them. This is the best time, family time. And inshallah, fi amanillah, and I will see you soon.